Welcome back to another episode of the Gambling Goats podcast. He's Johnny. I'm Shea. I'm ready for some week 8 action. Johnny, this football season is just flying by, right? We're already in week 8. Our picks are going well. I had a rough go. Johnny had a good week there. Buddy, how was your week?
You took the words right out of my mouth, Shay. Weeks are flying by. The fact that it's already week 8, crazy. The good thing is we're up, we're making money. Season's long but over. You know what? Week 7 was really good to me. I was 4 out of 5. So my numbers are getting back up a lot like those first weeks here. We're making money. Also notable mentions, I had Elijah Mitchell to get the first touchdown in the San Fran game. I put a unit on that. That made 850. Also had Robert Tonyan from Green Bay Packers tight end to get an anytime touchdown. Put a unit on that. That made 282. So we're rolling. Out of my picks for last week, week 7, I took Detroit plus 16. That was a fun game to watch with Goff and Stafford. Goff really showing, he's still here to play. Rams getting it done. Patriots -7. Love that pick all day. Mac Jones, you've been saying it. People have been denying it, but man,
I've been yelling it from the rooftops, buddy.
Mac Jones is having a great year. I'll let you touch on that later. Cincinnati plus 6.5. They not only covered, they just outright won that game. Giants +3, great pick. Kansas City -4.5, the only one to let me down last week, and I'm surprised. I'm surprised what I'm seeing from Kansas City. Their defense is really hurting. Not the same team they were the last 2 years. What do you think, Shay? How was your last week as well?
Man, my week could have been better. Kansas City really killed me. I honestly, I thought that was a hard lock, and they just got their doors blown off by Tennessee.
I know.
At this point, man, I'm gonna say it right now. I think I could run for 150 yards against this Kansas City defense. They're not good. They're not good on the run game. They're not good protecting against the pass. Julio Jones had a big game. AJ Brown had a big game. Derrick Henry had a big game. So I think this is cause for concern in this Chiefs team this year, who very well could finish last in their division, man.
Yeah, I hear you. The thing I don't understand is they actually are getting yards per game. They're actually 3rd in total offensive yards per game, and passing, they're 4th. So It's weird. They're getting numbers all throughout the season, of course. But yeah,
they're turning that ball over, man. They're just they
exactly
turn it over. And you know what? I think this goes back to that Bills game. So the Bills kind of
wrote not stopping the other side. So
yeah, exactly. So the Bills kind of wrote the book of how to really limit this explosive offense with the Chiefs, and playing that tie 2 safety look, and then playing tight man on Travis Kelce. So you don't get that over the top, and you don't get that home run ball with Tyreek Hill, and then you take Kelce out of it, and then you force them to beat you with somebody else. And this Chiefs team, they can't handle this. Mahomes is making a lot of bad throws. I think he's 3rd in the league in interceptions, which is not like Mahomes.
Second or third, yeah.
It's not good. It's not pretty, and they got to get this figured out, and get that ship riding straight, or they're in some deep trouble and may have a high draft pick next year. So,
I agree. Good touch on there and what the Bills have done. Yeah, so that's our last week here. I think this week the board is pretty heavy with numbers. What's up?
Oh, I just recapped the one game. I didn't even tell anybody about any of my other picks there. It's all good.
I didn't know you were going to dive into it. Go ahead.
No.
Let them know your pain.
I let them know my pain. Yeah. I hear you now. My two picks that I hit was the Colts +4 and the Falcons -2.5. That Colts 49ers game was an ugly, rainy game. Thank God the Colts can run the football with Jonathan Taylor, who I have a signed rookie card from. Just want to throw that out there. Shout out to my boy Jonathan Taylor.
Nice.
But yeah, Patriots first half under. That did not hit. Patriots just kept scoring. They covered that. They covered that by themselves. So my boy Mac Jones getting the job done. He's looking solid. My 2-game teaser got blown apart by the Bengals. The Bengals beat the Ravens outright. So yeah, a 2-3 week, not the best for the record here, but better than my 1-4 week the week before. So we're moving on up, buddy. We're moving
on up, getting those numbers. That's right. Well, here we go. We got a fresh week, a fresh slate. Let us know what you think of the board, Shea.
Well, I hate the board. I will say it right now. I hate the board this week. A lot of ugly teams playing ugly teams, and it's a battle of the toilet bowls in a few of these.
It really is.
My first pick here, and I'm laying the juice. I'm laying the wood. This is a very chalky play, but you know what? The Bengals are in first place in the AFC. Who would have thought that at the beginning of the year?
Not me.
Joe Burrow has looked like, he's showing them why he was that number 1 overall pick. He's really airing out that football. This team is ranked 7th in the league in pass yards this season, and they're tied for 3rd in passing touchdowns this season. So, he's scoring with Jamar Chase. They're moving the ball up and down. While their run game, it really hasn't been elite. It's kind of been middle of the pack, but it's allowing for Joe Burrow to get set up on that play action, hit that tight end Uzuma, hit Jamar Chase down the field. I've been very impressed with this Bengals team. And they're playing the Jets, man. The Jets have no Zach Wilson. He got beat up against my Patriots, took him out pretty quick. And they signed Joe Flacco, and yes, he's a vet, and yes, he might, limit the mistakes on the offense, with the turnovers and the interceptions. But the guy's also old, and I don't trust his arm down the field. He's going to be doing a lot of dinking and dunking, just those little dump offs, hand the ball off. And I don't think that's going to get a job done against the Bengals team, who's in first place, and they're riding high after that big win against Baltimore. So I'm taking the Bengals minus the 10.5 points. I couldn't, I've been fading the Bengals all season. Time to jump aboard, buddy.
You know what? I absolutely love that pick, Shea, and I'll let you know I'm right in there with you. Bengals, I took minus 10.5 this week as well, playing the Jets. Absolutely love what I'm seeing with Jamar Chase, Mixon. Their whole squad is really putting up numbers. Notable mentions, they're actually 5th in defensive sacks here. They've got 19 on the season. They're getting the ball back. They're putting it into Burrow's hands. And Burrow's coming off that injury. Cincinnati's just always been a team to fade. So, there's not much belief around them, but they do have a good young squad, healthy. Joe's throwing the ball great. It's like nothing ever happened to him. So it's crazy to see. I've also got them on the minus 10.5 points this week, as well as one of my picks.
Look at that, a little best bet action here coming out of the gates here. We got the Bengals minus the 10.5, the two of us. What do you got for your second pick there, brother?
Okay, so again this week, well, let's look into it. Which one do I want to give out first? I like the Titans in the Colts game. I really do. Titans are getting 1 point, and I'm going to take a money line because of it. Instead of the 1.8, I'm going to go up to 2.05. I think if they're going to get the 1 point, they're going to win. Like what I'm seeing out of Tennessee, I really think it's their time to strive. They were a little wishy-washy in the beginning of the season. I've been talking about them all season. I'm going to get back behind the Titans. They do have a strong squad. Seeing what they did last week, Tannehill, it just feels like he's getting a lot more comfortable and just confident as well with the team. And they're running the ball great, obviously. So I'm going to take Titans money line over the Colts.
Yeah, you know what, man? This is something I can get behind too. I actually have the Titans down on the +1, but money line, I'd also take them on the money line.
Are they +1? Yeah, they're getting the 1 point, right?
Yeah, they're getting 1 point on the road when back in September they beat the Colts by 9 points. So it makes no sense to me. That was a Titans team that was kind of just getting the momentum going. Now they have that momentum going and they're steamrolling. I don't see them losing after coming off those 2 wins against the big dogs in the AFC. Kansas City and the Buffalo Bills. The Colts played well. I touched on it earlier, that 49ers Colts game last week. It was a rain game. It was a muck fest.
Watching
it was just a tough game to watch, man. And you know what? they have the better running back in that game with Jonathan Taylor, my boy. And he just ran all over that 49ers defense. But he's not going to be able to do that against Houston or against the Titans here. It's going to be the other way around. Derrick Henry's going to run all over the Colts. It's just a bad divisional matchup, and I don't see how the Colts can be a home favorite versus this Titans team who has the better record coming off of bigger wins. It just doesn't make sense. This line seems fishy to me. And I've been fading the Titans for the last few weeks, and it's really bit me in the ass. So I'm getting on board with you, buddy. I'm taking the Titans. I would take the money line. I'm just going to take the +1 because, it doesn't really matter at that point. But yeah, +1 for the Titans for me.
I hear you, Shea. And you know what? I think we've got a lot of the same picks because we've looked through the board, and honestly, it's a goddamn shame if these don't hit because we're only giving out the best. And with that being said, coming up next here, if you don't mind, Shea, I'll get into the next one.
I want to hear it.
We got Detroit playing Philly, and Lions are getting 3.5 points. I'm on the Lions side here. Even though they are just losing games, I think they're owed one. I think they are the hungry dogs. And I believe it is in Detroit.
It sure is, yes.
I'm taking Detroit Lions +3.5.
Ooh. Well, Johnny, we're going to start off the podcast with 3 best bets.
Three best bets because you are on board.
I'm on the Lions as well.
Yes.
They were feisty last week. They were leading going in that fourth quarter versus the Rams, where they were huge underdogs, and I think it was over 10 points. What was it, 12-point underdogs?
Detroit was 16 points.
16 points.
I had them at +16. I said I have to take that number. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And they were leading going into the fourth. Yes, they kind of just shit the bed in the fourth quarter. I'm not gonna lie, they didn't score any points.
I'm not getting it done, but
they didn't get it done. But you know what? They weren't
against the Rams
to get that game done, anyways. So this is a game. This is a very winnable game. I could even see the Detroit Lions coming in on the money line. But I'm going to take the 3.5, the +3.5. Take that hook. They're due for a win. Hungry dogs run faster, like you were saying.
Get on board, choo choo.
They just got steamrolled by the Vegas Raiders team, who doesn't have a real head coach right now. So that's got something to say about it. The Eagles
love
here.
To see it, though. Do love to see the Raiders keep winning.
I don't understand it. I don't know how long this could go. They're on their bye this week, but I would be looking at maybe touching the Raiders next week. So, but I'm on the Lions too, man. 3 best bets in a row, man. Well, look at us on a hot start.
Look at us. All right, well that's good. I think that's it for us on our best bets. What else you got on the board this week, Shea?
What game should I go with here? I'm gonna give you here. This is the spicy one. This is a tough game. Tough game. We got the Jaguars at the Seahawks. Seahawks are laying the 3 points at home. They're coming off. Seahawks are coming off that hard fought, smash mouth football kind of game on Monday, where again it was shitty. Against they lost by 3. They were 6-point underdogs and they lost by 3. So they ended up covering that spread. Made me a little bit of money on Monday night. But you know what? It's a very physical game. Short week for the Seahawks. The Jaguars are coming off a bye after their big win, their first season win. So they're well rested. They're going to go into Seattle. I think they're going to take care of business. The Jaguars' run defense has been surprisingly pretty good. Tied for 4th in yards per attempt, with 3.8 yards, yards per carry, and then tied for 17th in yards per game at 114 yards on the ground. And that's really what Seattle wants to do. Is they want to establish the run. They want to run the football to pass the ball with Geno Smith. And let's be honest here, I can't trust Geno Smith. I'm going to take the young gun, Trevor Lawrence, and the Jacksonville Jaguars to march on into Seattle and take care of business on the +3. It's a ballsy one.
Very nice.
But I like it. You know what I mean?
I hear you. I couldn't touch this game. It was a really tough one. DK Metcalf with that first touchdown last game. Anyways, I didn't touch this game this week, but I see where you're coming from with Jacksonville, and I wouldn't be surprised if they pull it out, right? But not touching that for me. I said I had one. I forgot I had two. Speaking of Monday night, we got the Giants playing Kansas City. Don't know what's happening with Kansas City. Kansas City's getting 9.5 or giving. Sorry. And I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the Giants. Kansas City hurt me. Giants were there for me and covered. Great teams cover. Even though they're so riddled with injuries, I'm going to take the Giants to cover 9.5. I just don't think that Kansas City's defense is going to stop the ball from getting down the field. I just don't. And I think they can outscore Kansas City enough times outright to keep it close.
Yeah, man, I am staying far away from Kansas City games for the next little bit here. This team, I don't know what to make of. The Giants are pretty banged up still, but they did look good last week.
They did. I don't blame you, though.
It was funny. I think what we were talking on Sunday morning. You were telling me a parlay you had. And I think you were on the other side in the parlay. I was like, and I think I told you, I was like, didn't you take the Giants on the podcast? He's like, yeah, I really want to get out of that bet and gonna try to hedge it somewhere else. Well, man, you were right. The Giants covered. So
Well, I had almost. I could go through it right now, but we don't have the time. But I had so many good parlays, Shea. I'm talking $20 parlays, $15 parlays, even $5 parlays, probably like 5 or 6 across the board. That the only thing that hurt it was Kansas City. And I had Giants +3 a couple times across those as well. So, Kansas City really hurt me last week. If they would have won, I think I just could have retired almost from betting. Not really, because I'll never quit. But yeah, so tough game. I really, I don't love the board this week, but Giants 9.5 points, Kansas City. I'm saying fuck Kansas City. They're probably going to hurt me. So don't, these 3 viewers, these 50 viewers that keep coming in and watching how whatever we're up to, maybe just trust your gut on this, but I'm going with the Giants 9.5.
Hey man, like I said,
That's my best pick.
I like it. I'm
9.5 points
for you. I hope Saquon Barkley just runs all over that team, but I don't even know if he's playing after that ankle injury. So he's one of those guys that's pretty banged up. Daniel Jones, I think, is leading that team in rushing, which is kind of surprising.
Awesome.
So my last pick here, and this is a big divisional game. This is a game that, everyone used to like watching, the Tom Brady, the Drew Brees show last year, the neck and neck race. I'm going Bucks -5.5 at the Saints here. You know what? And this isn't the same Saints team as last year. They don't have Drew Brees. This line would make sense if Drew Brees was playing and, it had that rivalry, but it's Jameis Winston and it doesn't make sense because the Bucks are the way better team. Tom Brady is going to Tom Brady all over this defense who, you know what? Yes, they can stop the run. They're very good at stopping the run, but that's just not how the Bucks play. They air the ball out. They get the ball downfield to Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Antonio Brown. Hopefully we see Gronk return in this game too to give Brady that nice little outlet over the middle. And you know what, Alvin Kamara, he is the heart and soul of this Saints offense. And if Bucks can shut down Alvin Kamara, who had 30 touches against the Seahawks,
wow.
30, that's crazy, man. I think Jameis Winston only threw the ball 20 times, and Alvin Kamara had 30.
Giving Kamara and he came through.
Oh, it was crazy. It was stupid. It was just the Alvin Kamara show. So I'm gonna take the Bucks -5.5. I think they're gonna just roll over the Saints here. I think it's a
shut down Kamara. I think, yeah.
Absolutely.
No, I can get behind that. I see where you're coming with that, Shea.
Options. So if they can shut down Kamara, then they'll be winning this game quite handedly.
What didn't he get 5 touchdowns last season in one game? Kamara?
Yeah. Oh, sure did.
That was awesome. I forget what game that was. Just off the top of my head. Great pick. I would have loved to get behind that with you. I'm not going to this week because I just don't take easy picks. What can I say? My last pick of the week, we got Dallas in Minnesota. You know, there's going to be an upset in one of my picks. It's probably going to be this one. But I'm taking Dallas -1. Dallas has actually put up some great numbers. They are first in total yards, offensive leaders, with 460 yards per game. Next to them is Tampa Bay with 423. They're fifth in passing. They're second in rushing. Notable mention, turnovers. They're fourth in turnovers defensively with 7 this season. So, they're really showing us a different side of the Dallas Cowboys than we've seen. And Dak's getting the ball a lot more. He's looking healthy. As long as no one's injured or out, like if Dak's in the game this week,
yep,
then we're good to go. And I'm going to take Dallas -1.
You know what, man? I like that. I think Dallas rolls. I think they roll over this Minnesota team. Touching on that,
weird though. I don't like Kirk Cousins, a cocky little like rat.
He doesn't do it.
He's a,
he doesn't do it for
What's
me.
that?
He's got the weapons, man. You know, anybody can throw to Adam Thielen and Justin Jefferson. You know, like
yeah. Jefferson had a year last year. Not putting the same numbers. I think Minnesota. I think they're a team that's really starting to decompose from the inside out, and they need a fresh QB. They've got some weapons, and I don't know if their front office is really doing them justice. Like Minnesota has a good fan base, and you know what? They continuously get hurt every year. So I think the fans are frustrated as well. So I don't think home game's going to matter much. I think 1 point. Dallas rolls them. Let's go.
And Dallas has the biggest fan base in the NFL, so I'm sure there's going to be some Dallas fans in Minnesota this weekend. So
next to Green Bay, I think Dallas does. Yeah, for sure. No, Dallas.
Okay.
All right. Yeah,
okay. Dallas is called America's team.
We won the first ever Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So who's America now?
America.
Says
the guy that's wearing a Toronto Maple Leafs jersey.
All right. So those are our picks this week. Those are our 5 best. We got 3 best picks, but 5 of our best picks. Again, for me, I took Titans money line. I like the Giants +9.5 versus Kansas City. Lions 3.5 versus Philly. Dallas -1 in Minnesota, and the Bengals to cover 10.5 versus the Jets. Those are my picks. Shea.
I had the Titans +1, the Bucks -5.5, the Lions +3.5, the Jacksonville Jaguars +3, and the Bengals -10.5. So a lot of best bets here. What could go wrong?
Could be everything. Could be another great week. So all we can do is wait and see our comment sections. I'm going to be taking a couple first touchdown scores this week. Scores this week. I've got 5 coming into the comment sections. I'm going to play them all, and we'll see where we come out this week, so we can start riding that train with Johnny on Sundays. Shea, great week, great picks. I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna see you Saturday on the links. But Sunday we got some football to watch. Can't wait.
Absolutely, man. Let's make some money.
That's right. All right, Goatz. Have a good week. See you soon.